Thanks for watching. I'm Prerna Agarwal, Technical Product Owner for The Guardian. Today we'll be giving you Guardian updates as of the Sprint 13 demo, which lasted from May 16 to May 27. Just a quick overview of the agenda. We are going to give you an update on the roadmap. We are also going to be reviewing the issues that we tackled in Sprint 13 that lasted from May 16 to May 27. Then we are going to flip over and give you the demo of the issues that we solved in Sprint 13. We are also going to be looking ahead as of week of June 10th, which is Sprint 14. We are also going to take a look at issues that we are going to be tackling in Sprint 14. We are also going to be talking about our upcoming releases. We are also going to be giving you some of the ways that you can submit either bugs or policy requests through various different channels. So just a quick overview of the Guardian roadmap. Again, this is open source, so anyone can see that. All you need to do is install the ZenHub extension in Chrome. And when you travel to the Guardian GitHub repo, you will be able to see a tab to quickly open that up and see what's going on there. As you can see, we are working on the decentralized Guardian. We are also working on the discoverability of data on root authority, auditor, and other different roles. We are working on the sustainability token lifecycle management, and so on and so forth. So just a quick overview on the issues that we tackled in Sprint 13. So Sprint 13, we committed to 125 story points and we delivered 70 story points. So these story points includes creation of the event, which is 859. We have also worked on updating the documentation, which is 900. We have also worked on some of the bugs, which includes 931, 901, 916, and so on. So let's look at the demo of Sprint 13. The first ticket what we'll be looking at is 859 events to be created. Currently, there are no events being triggered for the APIs. So in order to solve this, there is a new tab called events for each of the block in the GUI where events can be configured. These events allow policy creators to transfer control execution on exit from the current block to an arbitrary block and thus build an non-linear workflow. So as you can see, I have created a sample policy, which will actually give you a demo on implementing the aggregate workflow and also implementing the switch workflow depending on the condition. So first, let's look at the switch implementation. Here, as you can see, I have a switch block being added. In the switch block, I have an events tab where I have added a condition for the input event and the output event. So depending on the condition, my execution will transfer to that particular block. So if my condition is 0, my target block will be block 12. And if my condition is condition 1, my target block will be block 13. Now, that was an execution for switch block. Now looking at the aggregate data flow execution, as you can see, we have block 3, block 4, block 5, and block 5 is a timer block, and you have a block 7, which is the aggregate data flow block. In block 4, I have an event being generated, which is a start timer event. So this start timer event, it just triggers the execution and starts the timer. And it transfers the flow to block 5, which is timer block. And in the timer block, we have 2 events being added, which is the input event, which is coming from block 4. And then this timer block has a start timer event, which will actually trigger the execution of the time depending on the period being defined by the aggregate block. And then the timer and the data is being transferred to the block 7, which is the aggregate block. So in order to get more information on the events, we have added a complete summary of the events in our Github documentation. So this documentation, updated documentation, will be released in our upcoming releases. But as you can see, we have added a complete overview of what properties, what settings the event contains, and what are the default events, what are the output and the input events, and what is the different representation of the events in the blocks. Now looking at second ticket, which is 900, editing policy definition language section. After implementation of this events logic, we have added versioning to the policy definition. To get more information on the updation of the versioning, I would like you guys to visit to policy versioning and deprecation policy, and you can scroll down and look at policy definition language where we have updated our documentation. So that was a demo for Sprint 13. Now looking ahead, we have Sprint 14 coming up. So just highlighting some of the issues that we are going to be uncovering here. The sprint is going to be lasting from May 30th to June 10th. At the moment, we have committed 74 story points. Just to talk about some of them, we'll be looking at 611, the Guardian VC revocation architecture. We are also going to be looking at the hello message, hello world message and its standards. We are going to be looking at 915, which is updating our Hedera SDK. We are looking at some of the bugs, which is 912. We are also going to be implementing Vera Red with respect to the topics. Talking about our releases, our last release was on Wednesday, May 18, 2022. Our next release will be on Tuesday, June 14, 2022. So there are multiple ways to reach out to us. You can reach out to us on GitHub. You can submit policy requests, enhancements, or if you find some bugs, feel free to go ahead and mention those bugs with us so that we can get on that. Also, if you haven't joined our Discord, come and join our conversation. It's at hedera.com/Discord. And when you get there, search for Sustainability Channel, or feel free to reach out to us directly if we have some policy requests by emailing us at info@envisionblockchain.com or by visiting our website, which is www.envisionblockchain.com.